Salute to Kids Day here at the Big A. The Angels coming off a victory last night. They snapped their 5-game losing streak with that win. And tonight they're trying, or this afternoon I should say, trying to make it 2 in a row before they head out on the road as we conclude this 4-game series against the Toronto Blue Jays. We welcome you inside the Big A and back to Angels baseball here on Fox Sports West, along with Mark Gubiza, sometimes called Zoolander. And I'm Victor Ross. Glad you could join us. That's a great look. That's your blue steel move,
yes,
right?
It is.
All right, let's talk a little bit about last night in Albert Pujols. Obviously, as we get closer and closer to that number 600 milestone, every home run meaningful. Last night, number 30 on the season, overall 590.
Very good swing at that one, Victor. Last night, take a look at our tools and trade brought to you by Ram Trucks. Home run number 590 last night for Albert Pujols. 380th different pitcher that he's homered against. That's a pretty good pitch, you would think. Downstairs, he went down and used that lower part of his body. Good leverage, drives it out to left field, way out to left field. Albert, a no-doubter, 590. What a tremendous swing at his 600 double career-wise earlier in this series. So 590 home runs, 600 career doubles, outstanding extra base hits as usual for Albert.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And today, as far as the pitching matchup is concerned, Marcus Stroman's going for Toronto. He's making his 30th start. Alex Meyer on the hill for the Angels, making his 3rd start.
Yeah, Alex Meyer, last time out, Victor, I thought his changeup was very good. Very important for him to keep that front shoulder in and execute with that fastball 92 to 98 range. Marcus Stroman's a guy who's going back to more of an abbreviated stretch position from the full windup to be able to be more consistent in the strike zone. Fastball, curveball, cut fastball, slider, and changeup for Stroman going here today for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Be nice to pick up a W on getaway day before they start a week in the Lone Star State. We're just about ready for baseball here at the Big A. Sit back and relax. Going to bring you the lineups to the first pitch when we return. This telecast of Angels baseball on Fox Sports West is brought to you by Hyundai. Great deals on amazing cars are going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today. By Jack in the Box. Taste the all-new Brewhouse Bacon Burger today for limited time only at participating restaurants. By your Southern California Toyota dealers. By Mercury Insurance, on a mission to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com to get a fast free quote and see how much you can save. And by the Jeep Renegade. Find your inner Renegade and reach your highest potential with an EPA estimated 31 highway miles per gallon. Angels have taken the field. There's some kids out there, so players at their positions signing some autographs before we get first pitch underway. Alex Meyer not wasting any time. And we'll take a look at John Gibbons' starting lineup for the final game of this 4-game series. Toronto's 149th of the season. They come into this one with an 81-67 mark. 3 back now in the American League East with the loss last night. And Devin Travis will lead things off at second base. Josh Donaldson back at third. Edwin Encarnacion, who DH'd last night, is at first. Jose Bautista in right. Russell Martin DHing this afternoon with Troy Tulowitzki at shortstop. Deanna Navarro behind the plate. Michael Saunders in left field, and it's Kevin Pillar batting ninth and playing center. Mentioned Alex Meyer making his 3rd start with the Angels. So far 0-3 on the season. That includes a start with the Minnesota Twins, an ERA just over 8.
Yeah, he's got that power fastball rushing up to the mid to upper 90s. My go-tos for Meyer to be successful today, though, is keeping that front shoulder tucked in. When he opens up that front shoulder, that's when that fastball is not as consistent as it should be. And trust the changeup, because he has a good one. He keeps that front shoulder in very well with that pitch. Good downward action, 88-90 with his changeup.
Check out the defense behind Meyer this afternoon. Ortega's in left, Trout at center, Calhoun in right. The infield with Escobar, Simmons, Pennington, and Crone. CJ had the night off last night, but back in the lineup today. And Juan Gratterall gets to start behind the plate tonight.
CJ's been much, much better in his last 60 games. Just 1 error made at first base. 998 fielding percentage. First 23 had 3 errors and a 982 fielding percentage. Very good as far as turning double plays also.
Halos last night, of course, picking up the victory. Final of 6-1. Ricky Velasco picked up his 2nd win as an Angel. First one tonight is inside. Devin Travis, 309 batting average, 10 home runs, 48 RBIs. 3-hit game yesterday.
Much better on that delivery with the fastball from Meyer. The first one, that front shoulder flew wide open. That one, good action on that one at 96.
1-1 on the way. That's down and away from the right hand hitting Travis. 84 degrees. It's a warm one today. It's still getting warmer. Last start for Meyer was here against Seattle. Gave up 4 runs on 5 hits, 4 innings of work through 76 pitches. Two-on pitch. 2-2. See the giddy up on that fastball.
Yeah, and good balance over the pitching rubber. It's very important. Being as tall as he is, you really have to stay balanced over the pitching rubber. Good balance, and he's driving towards home plate with that front shoulder. Keeps it in there very tight until the end. And the taller you are, the more the arms and legs and shoulder can fly open. You really have to have that good, consistent balance over the pitching rubber.
3-2. And he walked him. So leadoff man is on board via the free pass. That is something that has plagued Meyer because of the inconsistency as far as repeating the mechanics. And we knew once the Angels acquired him and Ricky Velasco in exchange for Hector Santiago that Meyer would be a work in progress. And that's the whole point, is that he has a tantalizing arm, potential to be a front end or front half of a rotation type of guy because of this stuff. It's just kind of getting him into his system and trying to get his mechanics righted.
And pitching more. I mean, when you think about it, he hasn't pitched a whole lot this season.
Donaldson will look at a strike.
The one thing the Angels may look at, depending on how well he pitches from this stretch position, is he's able to keep his front shoulder in a little bit easier from the stretch position, where he's just able to turn the shoulder and then go home, that modified stretch position.
Breaking ball is in there.
See, right there, very good.
No balls, 2 strikes.
I mean, Noah Syndergaard does that. You'll see that with Marcus Stroman here today. See how good that front shoulder is balanced and right at the target. Landing forward. He's always going to fall towards that first base side of the pitching mound. A better opportunity to land towards home plate and have that toe pointing towards the target.
Breaking ball, looked like he went around, and he did. Jim Reynolds brings him up. Donaldson down for out number 1.
Sharp breaking ball once again. Clearly crossed the plate on that one. Punch out. First of the game for Meyer.
One out, one on. Edwin Encarnacion at the plate. Two hits last night, going 2 for 5, had 3 strikeouts. We'll take inside. Edwin hitting .265 with 40 home runs, 118 RBIs. One ball, one strike.
Boy, does he have life on this fastball.
6-9.
And it's heavy, it's Salmon up here. That heavy sink to it.
You would think that with so much success Jared Weaver's had at day games here, that Meyer can kind of take advantage of that as well. And a little different arm angle. A little deception, more deception on Weaver's part, obviously.
And to create better deception, as you see Weave there, who threw the ball very well against Toronto, it's very important to keep that front side tucked in if you're Meyer. That way they don't see the baseball for a long period of time out of his hand.
Travis, the leadoff walk, stands at first.
Remember, Albert Pujols talked to Alex after the game the other day against Seattle. He thought that maybe he was tipping some pitches. And a lot of times you'll think that in terms of, especially when that front shoulder flies open, you can see the baseball out of the hand a little bit longer, even though it's coming in at 94 to 98 range. You still have a better chance to see the baseball in the rotation of the seams.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Pretty good hack by Encarnacion on a fastball.
More like you'll see a breaking ball right now.
Swing and a miss. Down goes Encarnacion, 2 outs.
Pretty sharp breaking ball once again. Great location. Did not overthrow that one. Just a late break at the end to get a swing and miss. See that rotation? Hard, sharp slider going down and away.
So 2 outs. Travis still at first, and here's Jose Bautista.
Said it well.
Just felt fun. 229 average, 18 home runs and 59 RBIs.
It sounded very entertaining also.
Remember to mix it up throughout the day?
Yeah.
I'm sure Ken French would appreciate me doing some of these player introductions in different voices.
Yes, I think he would.
Got a kick. Where were we? Last road trip. Quick throw over. Travis is back. Go one.
Changeup. Again, I think as he progresses, Alex, that changeup is going to become more and more effective for him. Even though that wasn't located exactly where he wanted, there's a pretty good differential between 96 and 88 with that fastball as compared to the changeup.
Much different guy from the stretch, even just 3-4 batters into this. Breaking ball and misses it.
Yeah, you wonder at some point if he's inconsistent from the full windup going that full delivery. Will indeed Charles Nagy talk to him about maybe going to that modified stretch position. You Darvish, Syndergaard does it. Strong enough, good life with that arm that he could probably get away with it.
Now's the time to do it anyway, right? Breaking ball and it just missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I mean, this is what the whole audition here in September is just kind of work through things. Yu Darvish is a guy that works exclusively from the stretch. That's not even a modified windup. That's a stretch. $18 pitches thrown. A walk, 2 strikeouts, and now a 2-2 count on Bautista.
Well, you got to be ready for C.J. Cron for that firm throw over the first base too. A lot on that one. Sometimes not easy for a first baseman to track that baseball on a throw over from the pitcher in a day game here.
Travis on the move. Bautista fouls it back.
Kind of a running start. And as you can see there with Travis, as a pitcher, if you're watching at home, if you can hold the baseball, you can make him stop. He was trying to move, time Alex Meyer throw to the plate to be able to go.
Two again. Fastball off the plate. Full count. Just missed. Cron will play behind Travis. He's going to be on the move. There comes the payoff. Breaking ball. Did he go? He did. Jim Reynolds rings it up. So leadoff walk and 3 strikeouts. We're headed to the bottom of the first, scoreless. Let's check out Mike Scioscia's lineup for the Halos. So the lineup we've seen on this homestand. Escobar leading things off at third base. Calhoun is in right, Trout at center. Pujols at DH. Cron back in the lineup at first. Andrelton Simmons the shortstop. Rafael Ortega in left. Juan Graterol is the catcher, and then Cliff Pennington batting ninth and playing second base. They're taking on Marcus Stroman, making his 30th start of the season. 9-8 mark at a 4.55 ERA.
Stroman's fastball is 90-94, slider, cut fastball, curveball, changeup. My go-tos to be successful against Stroman. You see his 9-8 record this year, 4.55 ERA. Is aggressive early on 0-1 counts and 1-0 counts. Batting average well over 400 against him this season, and drive those mistakes, especially here in the day where the baseball carries well. Fastball up, drive it out of the ballpark.
First one from Stroman is upstairs. Udell hitting .308 with 4 home runs, 35 runs batted in. Had an 0 for 4 game last night, now 0 for his last 19. And the count now 2-0.
As you notice right here, Stroman modified stretch position. You see him he's trying to tell himself to keep that front shoulder in.
Escobar lifts one out to right field. Bautista moving back on it. Makes the catch for the first down.
My Hyundai key for this game, especially in the day here today. Go a little poison. Ride to win. We talk about the carry here during the day. You see how much that baseball carried all the way to the warning track in the right field. You square up a baseball, got a chance of going a long way today.
Stroman's last win back on August the 14th, although he hasn't pitched poorly since then. He had one game in which he gave up 5 runs, but last start against Tampa Bay, took the loss, 3 runs on 4 hits, 6 innings of work. As Cole Calhoun settles into the batter's box, first one's away. It's 1-0. Cole at 265 with 17 home runs, 68 RBIs. A couple of hits last night, 2 for 4, including a single and a double. Picked up an RBI.
We're just watching from our arm angle, from our angle right here, the difference in the landing area between Stroman and Meyer. Both almost in the same exact direction, but the landing area completely different between Stroman and Meyer.
Downstairs. 2 balls, 1 strike. Stroman not a big guy. Listed at 5'8" compared to the 6'9" that Meyer's listed at.
Well, you can see right here where the landing area for Meyer is compared to Stroman, where he lands. Completely different spot, but again, it's going in the same exact direction, toe pointing towards the target at home plate.
25-year-old former first-round pick out of Duke University. Full count.
But he does have great life on his fastball also. Real good story last year for Toronto when he came back from that knee injury, to be able to pitch some very meaningful games towards the end.
Chopper towards second. Travis has it. 2 down.
Now it's time for a Honda helpful moment. Mike Trout, we talked about his slides at third last year in Boston, the swim slide to avoid the tag at third. Trout able to get the hand in and keep the foot on the base last night. Same thing, looked like the baseball beats him, but he's able to get that hand in on that swim slide into third base. This time keeps the hand on the base and then through, and able to keep the foot also. Trout can do it all. And then some.
.318 batting average, 27 home runs and 90 runs batted in. First one is down low.
Trout 2 for 4 in his career versus Stroman.
High fastball. Evens a count of the ball to a strike. Trout last night with a couple of hits, 2 for 4. Two balls, 1 strike. That was a guy that lives a good fastball, but get a lot of ground balls. It's first in Major League Baseball ground ball percentage, 60, just over 60%. This one's counted away. 3 ball, 1 strike count with Pujols on deck.
But when you look at his numbers, so many ground balls, but yet he's given up 21 home runs. So when he makes a mistake, it's upstairs.
Chopper, left side, Donaldson has it. And just got him by half a step. As the Angels go down and over here to first, head to second with no score. Guys, we start the second. Alex Meyer gave up a leadoff walk in the first and struck out 3. He'll face Martin Tulowitzki and down at Navarro here in the second inning.
One thing's for sure, when you're a hitter watching Alex Meyer throw the baseball, you're more apt to swing at that first pitch looking for a fastball. His breaking ball so far today has been very good.
Martin fouls off the first offer. He's DHing today. A 2 for 4 game last night. 243 average with 19 home runs, 71 RBIs on the season. Russell's been dealing with a sore knee since Wednesday night. This one's fouled off. Behind in the count at 0-2.
It's good to see Gratterall trying to work with Alex Meyer as far as he wanted that breaking ball for sure in the dirt. He was tapping the dirt. Sure that Alex didn't miss location with a breaking ball. Mike Scioscia had a conversation with Gratterall and Meyer after the inning just to make sure they're on the same page as far as not a lot of movement behind the plate, stay towards the center.
Breaking ball got him, and he locked him up with that breaking pitch. Little backup, but very effective. That's 4 consecutive strikeouts.
As you can see, Gratterall staying in the middle part of the plate. Trust in movement. Location there, backs up on it, but it's still a sharp break on that curveball.
C.B. Buckner calling the balls and strikes today. Jim Reynolds at first, fielding Colbert at second, Manny Gonzalez at third. Here's Troy Tulowitzki. Shortstop comes in batting .256, 24 home runs, 73 runs batted in. Fastball for a strike. You can see, even though he's in a full windup, it's almost like a very slow, deliberate windup, trying to get to that modified stretch, if you will.
I watched his bullpen session the other day, and that was the conversation with Charles Nagy, just to try to make sure a better balance and a little bit slower in that process in the beginning before releasing the baseball. And a better chance, we mentioned 6'9", to stay under control.
One ball, one strike. Tulowitzki picked up his 24th home run the other night. That was against Weaver. Quiet night last night, going 1 for 4. Just off the plate. A little more under control, though. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, the more consistent you are around the strike zone, the more apt you're going to get one of those borderline pitches. That was at 98. I'd like to see him come back to a breaking ball now. Ran a fastball in at 97.
Two. Out to right field, chasing Cole back toward the corner, still racing back, reaches up, makes the catch. 2 down.
Well, in this homestand, Cole Calhoun and Mike Trout have made some unbelievable defensive plays in the outfield, covering a ton of ground. It's not an easy play for Cole Calhoun. See where he's located, how far he's got to go back. That baseball carrying very well, and just in front of the wall. He'll catch it and brace himself for that contact with the short wall in right field. Meyer liking that play. He said the defense has been very good, especially in the outfield in this homestand.
Down to Navarro at the plate. Switch hitting catcher. It's an off-speed pitch. He's hitting .207. 13 doubles, a couple of triples, 6 home runs. Started the season with the White Sox, acquired by Toronto for some catching depth.
I do like the fact that Alex Meyer would throw a first pitch changeup. Again, they're going to identify looking first pitch fastball through a changeup first one. That one he kind of guided a little bit.
One, two. Yes, he did on the breaking ball. Down goes Navarre in a 1-2-3 second inning for Meyer. We'll head to the bottom of the inning with no score.
Most in Major League history. A-Rod at the top of 14 seasons. Jimmy Fox, Babe Ruth, Manny Ramirez, and Albert Pujols, all with 12 seasons for 30 or more home runs, 100 or more RBI this season.
Pujols, Cronin, Simmons here in the second against Stroman. Marcus had himself a 1-2-3 first. Fastball for a strike. Now to 263, 30 home runs down, 111 runs batted in. What a what? You see when he's down in the zone, that sink to that pitch.
You see why he gets all those ground ball outs. 2 outs via the ground ball in the first inning. You can see when that baseball is elevated upper part of the strike zone, because he's trying to do so, he drops his elbow. That's where he runs into problems, where he's giving up those home runs.
2-1 off the plate. 3 balls and a strike. Three-1. And there's a leadoff walk to start the second.
Stroman wants to know exactly where that pitch was. That was a pretty good pitch. 92-mile-an-hour, 2-seam fastball. Didn't get the call. Lower part of the strike zone. He's touching the lower part of the strike zone.
Here's C.J. Cron, had the night off last night. Back in the lineup, first base, hitting .279, 16 home runs, 63 RBIs. Albert with a short lead at first. Crone hits one toward the middle. That's a base hit. Albert thought about going to third, slammed on the brakes. Like, where are you going?
With Anderson Simmons coming to the plate, let's go with our Carl's Cam replay from last night. The defense and the instincts, as always, with Simmons. Now we're trying to get the third quickly, even though he didn't have a great grip on the baseball. The quick reaction and the perfect throw, and then height of the throw to Escobar gets a huge out in the game last night for Simmons.
And hitting .286, 20 doubles, a couple of triples, 4 home runs, 39 RBIs. Two on, nobody out. Walk and a single. And that's a base hit. No, glove by a diving Encarnacion. And to get the runner out at second, that's it. What a play by Edwin Encarnacion. It looks like Troy Tulowitzki a little curious as to the slide by C.J. Crone and asking fielding Colbert. John Gibbons has a look at it.
Pretty good range here for Encarnacion to be able to make that play. On the dive and the quick throw. Well, it sure looks like Crone can get to that base though.
He's not sliding through the base.
No.
Again, here's this whole waiting around determination as to whether or not they're going to challenge it. They're not going to challenge it.
That's one of those challenges I don't think you win on. It still wasn't a late slide at the base. Although the leg was a little bit high as far as trying to break up the double play.
Rafael Ortega at the plate, starting left fielder today. Pujols at third, Simmons at first, looking for a double play ball. That's what the Blue Jays played their defense with 1 out. Simmons on the move. Ortega fouls it at the plate. That's a heads-up play by Navarro. But the ball was called foul by C.D. Buckner. So Hamilton will go back to first. It will be a 1-1 count on Rafi.
Simmons going, looked like Albert was going right away himself, almost a double steal. Albert's feeling pretty good today. Tried to take that extra base going to third on Pilar, tried to do a double steal, straight double steal.
Spry. Simmons again on the move, and Ortega fouls off.
And Albert was going again.
Should he?
And that was catcher's interference. You see right there, Albert was definitely going.
Don't you have to wait until the throw? That is catcher's interference. That's an error on the catcher. So Navarro gets charged with his 9th error of the season.
No official at bat for Ortega. See right there, hitting the glove. Scooby Ellsbury's done that quite a bit this season. Matsui did it quite a bit in his career.
Late swingers. So bases loaded. Juan Gratterall, big swing and a miss. 3 for 4 in the big leagues. Double and an RBI.
Well, he got a pitch that was elevated in the strike zone, trying to get the job done as far as hitting the ball in the air. Not easy to do against Stroman. We mentioned how many ground balls he gets during the course of a game.
1-1 pitch. Foul back.
Talk about fastball percentages for Stroman. 57%, but then you add in his cut fastball, so you're talking 69% of his pitches are going to be fastballs. Whether it's a cut fastball, two-seam, or four-seam fastball.
Watch out. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Candles making Stroman work here in the second inning. A walk, a single, fielder's choice, and now the catcher's interference. Breaking pitch. Nice job by Gratterall to keep the plate appearance alive there. Just fooled on the breaking ball. Full count.
Tried a lot of pitches in the upper part of the strike zone here against Gratterall. He's trying to stay inside to try to jam him.
Jammed over that fastball. That got into the seats quickly. Reset and do it again. Full count. Bases loaded, 1 out. Scoreless here in the second. Ground ball towards second base. It'll be tough to turn 2. And bobbled by Travis. Wide throw. Stroman somehow keeps the foot on the bag. What a play by Stroman. The Angels get a run. It's 1-0. There was a lot of moving pieces there, especially how far to the right Encarnacion went.
And once he went there, it was going to be a difficult play anyhow, at any point to be able to get a double play, but Stroman was able to keep his foot on the base. Nice job as far as stretching when the baseball is thrown to as a pitcher at first base. Gratterall picks up his 2nd RBI of his career.
So 2 outs, 2 on, both in scoring position. Here's Cliff Pennington. Pennington hitting .211 with 4 doubles, 2 triples, 3 home runs, and 10 RBIs. Breaking pitch, foul back. They had a hanger too.
22 pitches, upper part of the strike zone, and just hitting for Stroman. .23 pitches thrown this inning.
Upstairs. 2-2. Pennington goes down swinging, and the inning comes to an end, but the Angels do get on the board as we head to the 3rd. It's 1-0 Halos. USA honors those who have served and all of our service members at home and abroad. Top of the third with the Angels up by the score of 1-0. 8-9-1 coming up for the Blue Jays. Saunders, Pilar, and Travis face Alex Meyer. He's allowed one base runner. That was a leadoff walk to Travis. He has struck out 5 since.
Good life, lower part of the strike zone, 95. Great sequence against Navarro last inning. Change up, fastball, breaking ball to get a swing and miss to finish off the second.
This one lifted out the left.
See Ortega turning that body, that angle to get a better look at the baseball in the sun. When you turn your body like that, you can see it a little bit better as it gets closer to you. It's played by Ortega.
One up, one down, and here's Kevin Pillar. .261 average for the center fielder with 7 home runs and 48 RBIs.
That time he overthrew that front shoulder, went flying open. For Alex Meyer to stay back under control.
Two balls, no strikes. Gratterall going out to pay a visit.
Good opportunity to go out and talk to him for Gratterall. Make sure he keeps that front shoulder in under control. That first at bat against Saunders, but the last 2 pitches to start this at bat against Pilar, way off the outside corner. That front shoulder flew wide open.
First time today that he's had a 2-0 count. 3-0. Top of the order, Travis on deck. 4-pitch walk. Second free pass issued by Meyer. Travis has the others coming up now. Seems like that's somewhat of a mindset for young pitchers. That you're going good all of a sudden. You retired 7 straight. You think you could try something a little more, a little hump up on a fastball, and it throws you way off.
With his mechanics, especially at his height, that first pitch he threw the Pilar was way. I mean, he tried to throw that one at 100 miles an hour, and he flew wide open, and it affected his next 3 pitches.
Travis with a walk in the first, and that fastball is perfect. 0-1.
You can't even place a fastball any better than that. 95 on the outside corner at the knees.
Time called by Travis, and now another visit by Gratterall. Pilar will run. He's a team leader in stolen bases with 12. He's off to a pretty good lead over first base. He's on the move. Travis will flare one out to shallow right center. That'll fall in there. Pennington had coverage, so Pilar ends up at third base. First hit of the afternoon, and the Blue Jays have runners at the corners with 1 out, and Donaldson coming up.
Certainly was not squared up, but when you've been swinging the bat so well, you're going to get those little flares into the outfield. Breaking ball, side part of the plate, falls in there nicely in right center field for Travis.
He's surprised Pennington had coverage with Travis at the plate. Myers fastball.
Yeah, a lot of
we
times.
haven't seen Travis pull the ball yet. This
every one of his swings be either up the middle or the other way.
I take that back. On the hanging breaking ball, he's pulled the left field.
Yeah, most hitters will do that too. On the hanging breaking ball, you sped up the bat at that point.
First and third. Good speed on the bases with Pilar at third and Travis at first. 1-0 Halos. We're in the third. Donaldson struck out his first time up. Late on the fastball. No balls and a strike.
Donaldson's a guy that you can get a double play turn behind. He's around there in the 14 of them.
Jammed him, ran that fastball in. No balls, 2 strikes. .34 home runs, 93 RBIs for Donaldson. Sore hip that had him miss 3 games earlier this week certainly has not been a factor. Doesn't appear to be a factor so far in this series. Breaking ball, it's low. 1-2. Toronto last night 1 for 12 of men in scoring position, 8 for 26 in the series. First scoring opportunity here in the third. Warm afternoon here in Southern California. Toronto's going up to Seattle to take on the Mariners tomorrow. The Angels will go to Texas to play the Rangers. Breaking ball. Oh, that's a good pitch, isn't it?
Yeah, that's got a lot of the lower part of the strike zone too.
Fool Donaldson.
See right here, look at our Fox tracks, perfect spot. Crossing that front part of the plate in the strike zone.
Breaking pitch hit to third. Escobar has it. Fires to Pennington for 1. The relay back to first in time. Inning-ending double play.
Well played there. Good turn by Pennington to finish off 5-4-3 double play.
Special occasion in your own private suite here at the Big A. Suite Rentals offer all-inclusive food and beverage packages. Just go to angels.com for details and do it quickly. There's only 6 games left on the docket. 3 against Oakland and 3 against the Astros. Top of the order coming up for the Angels. Escobar, Calhoun, and Trout to face Marcus Stroman. Extended in the second inning, but the Angels only got 1 run out of it. Escobar shoots one out to right center. It's a base hit, and it snaps an 0 for 20 for you now. Leadoff man reaches for the second consecutive inning. Last inning was a leadoff walk.
Nice play to finish off that last inning. Tough in between hop for a 5-4-3 double play. Leads off the inning with a base hit up the middle.
Cole 0 for 1 as he grounded out in his first plate appearance. That was to the second baseman, Travis. Escobar on the move, little hit and run action. He only plays to first as Tulowitzki's up with it. Escobar advances into scoring position. One down.
Tulowitzki covering just a little bit too close enough to him where it would have been an infield hit for Cole Calhoun. Hit the ball on the ground. That's exactly what they're trying to do on the hit and run. And Escobar in the scoring position for Trout. He's got 90 RBI on the season. Good hit one down there in the Trout farm. Stroman's been throwing some fastballs in. Great numbers for Trout this year against Jays. .458 batting average with 1 home run.
Grounded out to Donaldson in his first AB. Lays off, but he went around. CB Buckner rings it up. Mike just asked Jim Reynolds for some help, but doesn't have to. I honestly think more home plate umpires should call the check swing. I think they've got a pretty good view.
You would think.
And you can see, if you're watching the pitch, you can see the bat crossing the plate. The intent, of course. 1-2.
That fastball upstairs again. Stroman. Again, it's borderline. If you're up at that point of the strike zone, you have a chance to get a swing and miss or a pop-up. It's a little bit lower, though. That's the one that's going to go a long way. Full count and number of pitches seen by Trout. 4.42 pitches per plate appearance for Trout, with Albert Pujols on deck, who walked in his first at bat and scored the only run of the game.
3-2 on the way. Breaking ball, check swing. They will ask for help. Did not go. Second walk issued by Stroman. The Angels have 2 men on, 1 out, and Albert at the plate.
101st walk of the season for Trout.
1 ball, no strikes. A couple other scores impacting the potential playoff picture. Seattle leading Houston 2-0. That game's early. Second inning at Safeco. Houston batting with a couple of men on. Texas leading Oakland 2-1. That game's the bottom of the 5th. Taking the whole way. It's a count and a ball with a strike. American League East, Baltimore leading Tampa Bay 2-1. That game's in the 9th. Rays with a man on. They've been red hot, playing the spoiler here over the last week and a half.
That'll be Zach Britton on the mound again with his 44 straight saves this season.
Stroman wanted that pitch, doesn't get it. It's 2 balls, 1 strike. Boston will take on New York later tonight. Detroit leading Cleveland 9-5. That game in the 9th.
So maybe some bees or something.
Yeah, a swarm of bees all of a sudden. On the first base area. Trout likes the weather. He just doesn't like bees.
I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Encarnacion wasn't real pleased with seeing all those bees either. Got out of there quickly. Yeah, quite a few. Wow.
All right, which one of you guys has the Snickers bar in his back pocket?
And there's Trout and Encarnacion, but trying to wave those bees away. No. Get out of the way. We could always blame it on Gary DiSarcina. He was close by.
Yeah. He's always snacking on stuff too.
Yes.
So maybe
it is him.
Maybe it is DiSar.
Yes.
A little jar of honey in his back pocket. Or a bit of honey.
Yes.
We have ourselves a lovely delay here. It's a B delay. We haven't had one in years. Last time was out in straightaway center field in the batter's eye. Again, I think Trout was involved in that.
Yes, it was. Seems like it's staying right on the field. None of the players in the dugout or the fans so far have reacted, staying right around that first base area.
Moved over towards third base, it seems like. The middle part of the field. Trout's kind of walking away again. Marcus Stroman's looking tough to see for us, obviously. But he's kind of staring at the mound area, shortstop area, maybe. It's like we're following the invisible man.
You can see some bees right there, though. See right by the dugout area.
Now gonna have to track the queen and lead the rest of them away. Good luck, Gooby. Go get him.
I'll be right back. Yeah, I'm a big fan. Still see quite a few of them around the field.
Stroman's back on the mound. Looks like they're maybe moving off. Building Colbert pointing down towards third base line. See some people moving up the stairs down the left field line. So I wonder if they're kind of moving that way. Stroman getting a couple warm-up pitches here.
conversation out in the outfield between Saunders, Pilar, and Bautista.
There's a few more.
Go get them. Go. you
Keep them that way. Keep them that way.
Wish we had more for you, but that's pretty much it. Gippy, we do have the booth camera. You want to do some Zoolander poses?
No,
for,
no,
folks at home?
probably not.
Sure.
Probably not.
You're really good at it.
Oh yeah. Good win in the story where I actually got attacked by a swarm of bees when I was younger. That was no fun. No fun at all. Believe me.
Tell me more.
No. Wasn't comfortable. A friend of mine steps on the queen bee. Not a good decision. Swarm. And then when you go to the hospital, you get a few more shots too, which was very comfortable. After being stung a number of times. Back to you, Victor.
Gilby, that was an incredible story.
Thank you.
Somewhat moving.
Yes.
I'm glad you're all right.
Well, that's still in question.
These are out towards the left field area now.
That out by the trout farm?
Yeah. Looks like we're ready to go here. I think Gary DiSarcina's headed back toward first. So Trout's going back to first as well. I mean, that's a figure. You might as well get the game going. I mean, unless you've got somebody who's allergic to, obviously, bees. And if you're in stands, obviously you got to be careful, and that's why they made the announcement in stadium. But from a player standpoint, you know, we are outside. These things are bound to happen. So we're going to resume play here. Well, we haven't had that many rain delays this year, Gooby, but pretty good bee delay.
Cleveland was fun, though.
Yeah.
A few rain delays there.
Halos have a couple of men on with one out. We're in the third. Pujols at the plate. It's a 1-0 Angels lead.
Pujols will be coming to the plate with 2 on.
Strowman will get the opportunity to get loose once again. I think he's ready to go. So Albert's being summoned to the plate.
Going out to talk to Strowman to determine what the sign will be with the man on second.
Right, because that conversation couldn't have happened in the dugout during the bee delay. Not enough time, of course. Two balls and a strike. Albert fouls it off. 2-2. .13-minute delay for the Bees. Escobar standing at second, Trout at first. 2-2. Breaking ball, little roller foul. Full count. Trying to get to chase that breaking ball. Now Albert worked to walk to second and scored.
One of the runners I would think would be going here now on a 3-2 count with one out.
Runners take off. 3-2. A little chopper to short.
How important was that? That they do go on a 3-2 count with one out. Otherwise, that's a double play ball. Now you have two in scoring position.
2 outs now. Escobar at third and Trout now at second.
Both going. Escobar get a good jump. Trout's the same. Lewinsky forced to throw the first base instead of potential turning an inning double play.
C.J. Cron had a single in the second inning, up the middle. Got a little mistake pitch there from Stroman, but it's called a strike. Close. Went around. Jim Reynolds is ringing everybody up. Maybe Trout doesn't want him involved in check swings.
No.
I think the last time he was here, he called a lot of check swings.
He's only had one so far today in which he didn't call. And most times when you look at the replay, it looks like he crossed the plate.
One ball, 2 strikes. One, 2. Popped him up. Got a high fastball. Encarnacion, Travis. Not an easy play. Travis makes the catch for the third down as the Angels leave a couple of men off. They hit to the fourth. Halos up 1-0. Experiencing Angels baseball. Receive group ticket pricing for as low as $6 per seat. Go to angels.com/groups for more information. 1-0 Halos, top of the 4th inning. Encarnacion, Bautista, and Martin coming up to face Alex Meyer. He struck out 5, walked 2, and allowed 1 hit.
A long delay in that half inning for Alex Meyer between the last time he threw a pitch, which he got a ground ball double play, in between this first pitch here now against a very tough hitter in Encarnacion to start off this 4th inning.
Strikeout victim in the first. See if the 13-minute B delay affects or affected Alex Meyer. And this one's out to the alley left center field. Encarnacion going down and getting it. Go to the wall. Edwin in at second with a leadoff double, and that's his 32nd double of the season.
Talk about how they have to be aggressive trying to get a first pitch fastball, especially the breaking ball that Alex Meyer has thrown in this game. Pretty good fastball, was down middle of the plate, but down and lines it into left center field. 32nd double. Hitters were 4 for 5 with 2 home runs swinging at the first pitch against Alex Meyer so far this year coming into this game.
Bautista struck out to end the first. 0 for 1. That's a nasty pitch.
Especially after breaking ball, first pitch strike. On a 2-seam fastball in. Struck him out with a check swing, lasted back. 5-0-2 counts for Meyer in this game. 51 pitches, 32 strikes.
Seven just off the plate. Back toward the middle. Meyer throws the glove at it. Pennington goes to third base, and they'll get Encarnacion.
What a play by Pennington. That's a long throw across the diamond for a second baseman. Great decision by Escobar to be there. You see Pennington telling, Escobar, nice job being there at that base. Right away, he goes back to the base, puts his hand up, and a perfect throw and tag by Escobar. A pretty firm tag.
Yeah. Edwin may have gotten a face full of leather. Pretty glorious tag there by Escobar. Here's Martin with 1 out, 1 on. Russell struck out looking in the second. Swing and a miss.
Go back to that play. What a wise decision by Pennington, though.
Had a really small hole to thread the needle, and Pennington did it perfectly.
Excellent communication, too, between Escobar and Pennington to make that play at third.
Oh, 2 count. Bautista over at first. Breaking ball, tap foul. Boy, such a different approach, different feel. Just the presence for Meyer on the mound, working from the stretch. I mean, you were to chart all of the pitches from the stretch versus from the full windup. See a stark contrast. I mean, he is right in that zone, especially with that breaking ball today.
Yeah, he's on occasion solid from the full windup, but consistent from the stretch position. I think that's something they may indeed take a look at some point with Alex Meyer to be more consistent.
Oh, he overthrows that one.
That's when you're ahead of the count. That's what your mindset is. You're going to throw your very best breaking ball, so you'll have a tendency to bounce that one on occasion and overthrow it, muscle up.
Nice block by Gratterall. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Juan's going out to have another conversation. Jeff Bandy, by the way, last night removed from the game. It looked like a leg injury. It just seemed to be a lower back issue.
Yeah, little back spasms he had.
Juan getting the start today behind the dish. Martin at 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out, 1 on. 1-0 Halos.
That overthrown slider, that 0-2 pitch, has really thrown Alex out of whack here as far as his front shoulder and his mechanics. Like Socha, Charles Nagy looking on.
That slider, the backup slider, has been effective though, because obviously you're trying to guard against the fastball. Guys are bailing a little bit on that breaking ball.
Opportunity potentially for a strike him out, throw him out here.
Bautista doesn't go. Martin strikes out swinging. Just challengeable gas.
Like that fastball had on a 96. Against a very good fastball hitter in Russell Martin. I love exactly where Gratterall is set up. He's set up right in the middle part of the plate, trusted movement. It's that quick conversation Mike Socha had with Gratterall and Alex Meyer after the first inning.
Six strikeouts for Meyer, a new career high for him. Breaking ball misses inside.
That's the one you got to be careful though. That one on the inside part of the plate.
The slow one
Against Tulowitzki, yes. And one mistake that Jared Weaver made in his very good 6 innings against the Jays. That off-speed pitch, change up inside to Tulowitzki, hit out.
Meyer set a career high of 5 strikeouts 2 starts ago. That was at Oakland. Did that 3 1/3. Chopper to short. Simmons has it. Feeds Pennington, and that's the 3rd out. Really, this inning turned on that play by Cliff Pennington throwing out Encarnacion at third base. Get prices by becoming an Angels season seed holder. Just call 888-796-HALO or go to angels.com for details. At the bottom of the fourth inning, Halos with a 1-0 lead. Simmons, Ortega, and Gratterall coming up to face Marcus Stroman. Nice job by Alex Meyer in that fourth inning. And like saying, go to break, the play by Cliff Pennington changed the dynamic of that inning. You got a leadoff double by Encarnacion. Also decision by Cliff to go to third. All of a sudden you get the lead runner. You got a not so fast runner at first base in Bautista. And it just from a pitching standpoint, figured that would give you somewhat of a comfort level.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that's to do with that play. Although Pennington's always had great instincts, is watching Simmons play. We talked about and showed that earlier. The play he made at third with Escobar. The same thing here today with Pennington to Escobar. And credit again, Escobar being in that position to get right back to the base to get that key out at third twice. Back-to-back games at third base.
Simmons pulls with the left. It's a leadoff single. 3 straight innings now. The Angels have had their leadoff man reach. Andrelton is 1 for 2. We'll bring up Ortega.
I would not be surprised if you see Mike Scioscia put hit and run on now with Ortega, who hits the ball on the ground very well. Good coverage at the plate. And Simmons on the move. He's got 8 stolen bases in 9 attempts this year. Career high as far as stolen bases for Simmons.
Ortega, no official at bat for him. He reached on a catcher's interference in the second. Big lead for Simmons. Long hold for Stroman. Andrelton on the move, and Navarro can't come up with it. Andrelton turns second. Will stop there. It's a stolen base.
Number 9 on the season for Simmons. Real good jump. Stroman's allowed 10 stolen bases and 14 attempts against him this season. One career pickoff, so you can get that little bit bigger lead against them.
On the third base side of beauty, Stroman barehanded, fires to first and got him. Jim Reynolds rings him up.
It's an outstanding play by Stroman, under control. See that athletic position on the throw. Well done, though, by Ortega to advance Simmons. Third on that sac bunt. See how he stays low, and then the firm throw over to first base. A lot of times you see a pitcher stand straight up, and that throw will run into the runner going down the line. Well played by Stroman.
No argument from Scioscia. The sacrifice puts a man at third with 1 out. And Juan Gratterall at the plate.
Always potential for a safety squeeze or straight suicide squeeze here.
Gratterall picked up an RBI, a ground out. Last time up, second RBI. Chopper towards short, going on contact is Simmons. The throw is in time. Pretty good throw by Troy Tulowitzki for out number 2.
Got a lot on that throw, that sidearm throw from Tulowitzki. Had to come in on the baseball quickly on the transfer. A good firm throw to Navarro to be able to apply a tag. The tag put on the leg before the foot gets on the plate. See right there, just before he's able to touch the plate.
Gave the runner the path. Folks seem to forget that the rule also includes that the catcher can block the plate once he has the ball.
Exactly.
And a runner can collide with the catcher. if he's blocking the play.
Yeah, I saw that play yesterday between the Red Sox and the Yankees.
2 outs and a man at first. Pennington struck out in the second inning, so he's 0 for 1. Shot to left, a base hit. Good piece of hitting.
Stayed back on that well, let the baseball travel. Base hit into left field for Pennington. See, that's approach he was taking all the way, just trying to hit the ball the other way, let that baseball travel almost to the plate at that point or beyond the front part of the plate. And base hit in the left field.
Halos with runners at first and second, and they've had a boatload of runners in this game. It's Marcus Stroman, especially in the last 3 innings. They've stranded 2 in the last 2 frames. And 2 on here with Escobar at the plate. You now 1 for 3, tripled. Pardon me. Triple. Where'd that come from? Why did I write triple?
You must be reading
maybe
my
because he's the
handwriting.
third baseman. A single. That's awful. Anyway, that changed it. No balls on a strike. Halos so far today 0 for 6 with men in scoring position. 0 for 2, and that's been an issue this entire homestand. That 0 for 6 now puts the Angels 5 for 67 this week.
.381 with runners in scoring position for Escobar though this season.
Gratterall at second, Pennington at first. Chopper toward short. Tulowitzki's got it. Halos will strand 2 more. We head to the 5th. It's a 1-0 Angels lead. West is brought to you by Subaru, making the world a better place. That's why we donate to causes we care about. By El Pollo Loco, new chicken tenders. Try them today at El Pollo Loco. By USAA Insurance, banking and investments tailored for the military community. And by the 3-row 2016 Mazda CX-9. Top of the 5th inning, Halos up by the score of 1-0. Alex Myers done a nice job through the first 4. 6 strikeouts. It'll be the bottom third of the order coming up here at Navarro, Saunders, and Pilar. 2 walks and 2 hits allowed for Alex. Navarro struck out then the second, so he's 0 for 1. Baltimore, by the way, ended up beating Tampa Bay 2-1. Trumbo with a home run in the 8th.
Machado had one earlier in the game for Baltimore. A lot of power in that lineup.
43 home runs for Mark Trumbo. Oakland leading Texas now 3-2 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Seattle leading Houston 3-1 in the bottom of the 4th. One ball, one strike on Navarro. Been around a while. Originally the Dodger system.
And just try to slow down on that delivery. .67 pitches, 40 strikes today for Alex Meyer.
Chopper to the right side. That's Simmons in the shift. One down.
His job is staying back on that fastball, take a little off it, get a ground ball out.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Los Angeles Angels and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. One out, nobody on, and here comes Michael Saunders, the left fielder. A fly ball to left in his 3rd inning at bat. Alex Meyer, 26 years of age, Indiana native.
Try that changeup, just tried to guide that one in there instead of trusting the grip.
Three balls, no strikes. Meyer, first round pick of the Nationals, 2011 out of the University of Kentucky. That traded to the Twins in exchange for Denard Span. That was back in November of 2012.
Most pitches he has thrown so far this year, 76. Next pitch will be pitch number 73 as Charles Nagy and Mike Scioscia have a conversation about that now as far as pitch count and will they get the bullpen moving.
And there's a walk with one out here in the 5th. Saunders with pretty decent speed. He's over at first. Pilar will bat with one out, one on. The walk by Meyer, the 3rd one issued by Meyer. With 6 strikeouts.
Pretty good pitch. You got to try to keep that frame of that pitch. If your Gratterall is close to that strike zone, is across the plate in the strike zone, but then that takes it out of the zone as you go to catch it.
Pilar lifts one down the line, and this is a slice out of play. Kevin worked the walk into 3rd. Will start to get action going to the bullpen with Alex now at 75 pitches.
Good life on that fastball inside. against Pilar, who likes the fastball on the inside part of the plate.
One out walk to Saunders. And a 1-2 count on Pilar. Only run in this game came off the bat of Gratterall on a ground down in the second inning, scoring Albert Pujols. There's the 1-2. Check swing on the breaking ball, and he went around. Reynolds rips him up. That's automatic.
Yes. That's old school National League umpires.
Pilar can't believe it.
Gibbons can't believe it either. He crossed the plate.
Yeah. John Gibbons coming out. Looks like Reynolds barking at Pilar a little bit. Don't say we didn't warn you. You're going to check your swing. You might as well swing.
Again, each time we've shown it, replay, they have crossed the plate.
So 2 outs with Saunders at first. Here's Devin Travis. Make that 7 strikeouts now for Alex.
Big batter right here now for Alex Meyer to try to stay focused, get a very tough hot hitter out now in Travis, especially with Donaldson on deck.
Broken bat roller. Escobar comes in. Across the diamond he goes. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. The Angels up 1-0.
Pitch to 5 shutout innings, 7 punch-outs. That last pitch jams Travis. That's a 95-mile-an-hour fastball inside, breaks his back. It's the last out of the inning. More than likely, that'll be it for Alex Meyer. But in position, the Angels can score some more runs or at least hold this 1-0 lead, pick up his first Major League W.
Really throwing the ball well today. I mean, even some of the walks, it wasn't as erratic as we have seen at times where he's missed bouncing balls and overthrowing fastballs. He was around the zone. Much better command tonight. But today, I should say, it was 7 strikeouts and the 3 walks.
You got to give a lot of credit to Charles Nagy. He had a nice bullpen session with Alex Meyer in between starts. Just working on that better balance on that pitching rubber, and it's been very, very good today. Outstanding stuff. Angels trying to add on here now. Big part of the lineup here for the Angels, starting with Cole.
Cole's 0 for 2. 2 ground outs, 1 to second, 1 to short. Trout and Pujols to follow. They had a pitch to do some damage with. 1 and 2. Seattle opening it up on Houston, now 7-1 in the bottom of the 4th. Oakland still leading Texas 3-2 in the 7th. Angels will play 3 against the Rangers beginning tomorrow night, then 4 against the Astros beginning on Thursday.
Almost an outstanding play. Now getting booed. Tried though. The effort was there to make the play.
That was a great effort.
Yes.
Breaking ball, rip foul. Marcus Stroman, 1 strikeout, 2 walks. 4 hits allowed. The Angels have stranded 6 base runners, 2 each over the last 3 innings. His only easy inning was the first for Stroman. A fly out, 2 ground outs. Well down. Second strikeout.
Upstairs with a fastball. Monday key for this game to be successful. Mike Trout coming to the plate, ride the wind, try to get that carry from his day game. Trout is aggressive early in the count. See if he can get a baseball in the air and drive it. Carry, get it out of the ballpark.
Trout, a ground down and a walk. This one's out to right field, a base hit. Bautista over to try to cut it off. Does so. Trout keeps on running. Good throwing on by Jose. And Trout is in there with a double. And there's nothing else that Jose Bautista can do. I mean, that's about as good as you can play that ball in right.
And a good throw to second base. Also got himself in very good throwing position. Trout with that excellent slide once again avoids the tag. Breaking ball on the inside part. Actually, it was a cut fastball. And Trout thinking extra base, the slide avoiding the tag. And then inside part of the base, longer tag. Underneath it, scoring position 31st, double the season.
Here's Albert. Albert 0 for 1 with a walk and a ground out. Hard 1. 82 pitches for Stroman, 47 of it strikes, 2 punch outs, 2 walks. That man out of Duke. Swing and a miss. No balls, 2 strikes. Stroman wears the single digit, which is a rarity really for pitchers. See that too often. There's the number 6. Not of his grandmother. His biggest fan growing up, his late grandmother. Her birthday was on March 6th. This is line to right, a base hit. Trout will be waved around. Here comes a throw from Bautista. It's a good one, and Trout is safe at the plate.
Well, another one of those slides that Trout was able to get to avoid a tag, but they're definitely going to take a look at that one.
It looked like Navarro may have gotten him, unless he whiffed on the tag. But it's 2-0 right now, and John Gibbons taking a look at it.
See right here on the slide, the bat in that spot also, but tag is not on there yet, and then the hand in. If I'm Gibbons, I'm going to take a look anyhow, no matter what, I would think. Still hasn't tagged him in the hand. Another amazing slide by Trout to avoid a tag. Showed it earlier in a Honda helpful moment last year in Fenway. 1 last night, 2 today. Bautista with 2 good throws.
Bautista wondering what he needs to do.
You can't throw the baseball any better twice.
And he got rid of both very quickly.
Again, it's Trout being Trout.
Pujols with a single goes to second on the throw home. 112 RBIs now for Albert. And here's Crone, who takes a strike.
You see this slide dealing with the bat there also. Moves and lifts his arm, and then no tag, and then gets his hand in there. That's an amazing slide by Trout.
This one fouled back.
Well, we had all those bees, the invisible bees at time. We have the invisible slides by Trout today to avoid 2 tags and scores an important add-on run against Toronto.
Crone still in the hole at 0-2. Chopper over the mound. No, Stroman gloves it. He's only plays to first. 2 down. Albert ends up at third.
Now it's time for our top tier play brought to you by Arco. Mike Trout, an outstanding slide here as he avoids a tag from Navarro at the plate, lifts his arm up and able to get his hand underneath the tag and touch the plate before Navarro can even get close to applying a tag, scoring the 2nd run. That is an amazing slide.
Hamilton getting brushed back. Simmons 1 for 2 with a single and a stolen base. And this is punch and glove by Encarnacion on a backhand. He races to the base, beats Simmons, and the inning comes to an end. Nice play by Edwin Encarnacion, but the Angels add a run. It's 2-0. as we head to the 6th inning.
To Cleveland as the Tigers trying to find a way to beat the Cleveland Indians. Justin Upton, not only a home run, but a mammoth home run. 451-foot shot, 2-run home run. His 25th of the season as the Tigers come back and win that game against the Cleveland Indians 9-5.
2-0 Halos here at the top of the 6th inning. New pitcher on for the Angels. It's Jose Valdez taking over for Alex Meyer. Start in and out, who's in, who's out. Valdez so far on the season, 19 games, a 1-3 mark and a 4.76 ERA. He gets 2, 3, and 4 for Toronto. Donaldson, Encarnacion, and Bautista. By the way, what a play by Edwin.
Yes, he's made some outstanding plays in this game alone.
Two balls, no strikes. Tight game. You cannot afford base runners. There's a strike.
Especially in this part of the lineup, or any part of the lineup, really, when you look at this Toronto 1 through 9.
Check swing. Doesn't matter. It's a called strike on the inside part of the plate. Donaldson doesn't like it because it was in off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, there was going to be a check down at first base, more than likely, on the check swing.
Full count. Edwin Encarnacion on deck, and it's a leadoff walk to start the 6th inning.
Encarnacion coming to the plate. This is what he did in the field, and that looked like it was going to be a base hit. That ball was hit very well by Anderson Simmons, and slides in and just beats Simmons to the base. Would have been an RBI single. Well played by Encarnacion, who's now at the plate.
And it's a 1-ball, no strike count. One for two so far today with a strikeout and a double. Valdez last night going 1/3 of an inning. Third time he's pitched in this series. 1 ball, 1 strike. Edwin doesn't like it. 1-2. Valdez last night throwing just a total of 7 pitches in his 1/3 of an inning. A lot of guys used in last night's game as far as the bullpen's concerned. And with Alex going 5 today, will be the case this afternoon as well. Two balls, 2 strikes. Leadoff walk. Josh Donaldson standing at first base. Swing and a miss. Down goes Encarnacion.
A little late break on that slider from Valdez. 8th strikeout in the game for Angels pitchers against the Jays. This little snap on that slider, get a swing and miss.
Here's Bautista. Two balls, no strikes.
You got to try to do avoid those fastball counts against Bautista. A pretty good swing at that fastball, inner half plate at 94, pulled it foul. He's rolled into 18 double plays.
Two 1. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Called strike 3. It's no near the strike zone. And Bautista let C.B. Buckner know. 2 outs.
Yeah, that fastball, even though it was a firm fastball, 96, just a little bit off the outside corner. Valdez got a break. Good bring up too, by the way.
Authoritative.
Yes. Although Bautista really didn't like it.
No. No bueno. There's Russell Martin. Donaldson still at first. Martin, the DH. 2 strikeouts today. 9 strikeouts overall. for the Blue Jays. Well, Valdez must like pitching in the 2-0 count, falling behind everybody. Two and one. Danger zone pitch right there.
Especially on a fastball count. Good life on the fastball, but it's a zone where hitters could do some damage. Middle up.
Buries the breaking ball. 3-1 now. 2 solo runs for the Angels in this one. One in the second, Gratterall with a ground out. One in the fifth, an RBI single by Albert Pujols. 20 pitches thrown by Jose Valdez, 11 balls, 9 strikes. Full count. Donaldson will get head start. Cron will play behind Donaldson at first base. Stroman may be done. Donaldson on the move, and Russell Martin strikes out swinging. He has struck out 3 times this afternoon. We head to the bottom of the 6th with the Angels up 2-0. Sixth inning, bottom third of the order coming up on this warm afternoon for baseball. The wrap-up of the 10-game homestand. Angels in the midst of 20 consecutive games before their next off day. That'll happen a week from Thursday when they're at home through the last week of the season. So going to check out the Angels one last time. You've got 6 more games to do so. Angels will be back home a week from Monday to take on the Oakland A's. Marcus Stroman, meanwhile, 90 pitches so far, 2 strikeouts, 2 walks. He's given up 6 hits. He's going to face Ortega, Gratterall, and Pennington. 7, 8, and 9. Action continuing in the Blue Jays bullpen. Nothing easy for Marcus Stroman after the first inning. A ton of base runners, but he has limited the damage to just 2 runs.
Big reason because he's a ground ball type pitcher. You're forced to get any number of hits to score against him. Keeps the ball in the ballpark for the most part.
Ortega rips one out to right field. It's a leadoff single. Rafi's been on board a couple of times today. That's his first official at bat. Catcher's interference and sack bunt. His first 2 plate appearances.
Good swing for him. Went down and got that little cut fastball, lower part or just below the strike zone, and lines it in the right field. Reminds you of a sacrifice bunt scenario right now with Gratterall at the plate, or maybe even a straight steal for Ortega with 5 stolen bases and 8 attempts.
Bunt on the third base side. It'll go foul. Gratterall 0 for 2. RBI ground out into second. A fielder's choice in the 4th. Leadoff single for Ortega. Donaldson in on the grass at third. 95 pitches for Stroman so far. Eugenie, Brett Cecil getting ready in the Blue Jays pen. This one rolled foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Trying to do a little bit too much as far as trying to square around the bunt, play catch with the bat instead of trying to push that baseball. It's redirected by the hands on the bat, but keep it level.
Runner goes, a swing and a miss, to throw down to second. 1 hop throw, and Ortega is in there. And Devin Travis pointing into the dugout.
We'll see if he came off the base after the slide. Definitely beat the throw. Conversation into the Jays dugout. Definitely beat the throw. Did he stay on the base all the way through? It kind of looked like he did. See right here.
They're going to check it out.
That was a quick tag on the face area, helmet area. It looked like he got his hand in there before the tag was applied, and he stayed connected with the base.
And the Blue Jays are going to challenge this, so this play's under review.
Super quick tag. No matter if he got that hand in there and stayed on the base. Travis right away pointed in to Gibbons. See if indeed he got the tag on the helmet. Hand is going towards the base. Look, he did get the helmet.
But the helmet
wasn't on the body at that point.
Call will stand. Well, confirmed, actually. No more challenges for the Blue Jays. One out. Man in scoring position, and Cliff Pennington up. Cliff 1 for 2 with a strikeout and a single.
Pennington trying to go the other way once again. Got a base hit his last at bat going the other way.
No balls, 2 strikes. Oh, 2. Pennington out to center. Pilar is there. 2 down. So it'll be up to Yunel Escobar to try to bring home that 3rd run. You're now 1 for 3 today. Snapped it 0 for 20 with a base hit in the 3rd. Well, scare loosely. We'll get the 7th.
It's a big run out there now for Escobar to bring home. Take with a base hit, a stolen base, and scoring position.
Two and 1. Pretty good breaking ball. Even 103 pitches. Still will bite to it. Hasn't been easy for him today. You know that?
No.
It looks good. I mean, 2-0. That's it. That's the deficit. But he's kind of to battle his way through a lot of tough situations. This was popped up toward the dugout. That'll land in the seats.
He's had some pretty solid defensive plays made behind him, especially from Everman a couple of different times in the game. Tulowitzki, the same thing.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Big chap between Navarro and Stroman. Ortega standing at second base. Single and a stolen base for Rafi. 2-2 now. Lays off. Doesn't go. And all the Blue Jay fans up in arms on the first base line.
Definitely did not go on that one.
Full count. Calhoun on deck. flare out to right center field. Pilar was shading him that way. They'll track it down. We will head to the 7th. The Angels up 2-0.
Ninth birthday. USAA honors those who have served in the U.S. Air Force and all of our service members around the world.
Dale Lascara takes over on the mound here for the Angels to start this 7th inning. Takes over for Jose Valdez, who ended up walking 1 and striking out 3 in his 1 inning of relief. Dale is here in the 7th. Will face Tulowitzki, Navarro, and Saunders, depending on whether or not John Gibbons goes to his bench. 40th game for Dale is 3-0 mark, and it's 3.26 ERA. Third pitcher used by Mike Sochi. Tulowitzki 0 for 2. A fly ball to right in the fielder's choice. Two balls, no strikes. 2-1. Oakland leading Texas 5-2. Late Navlin. There's a strike.
It's a good changeup to get back into counts for Guerra.
Two. This was pulled toward third. Glove by Escobar. Gets up, fires across the cone, and he got him. One down.
Well, Escobar's made some very good defensive plays in this game today also. The ball was hit well by Tulowitzki. Prep step, dives and makes the play on that tough hop. Gets up quickly and throws out. Tulowitzki at first base.
For the play. Great reaction. That baseball is by Escobar. Gathers himself up. Perfect throw to first base.
There's Navarro, the switch hitting catcher's 0 for 2.
Great arm action on the changeup from Guerra.
Breaking ball. Hello.
Good one there. 77-mile-an-hour curveball.
No balls, 2 strikes.
Next time you think of fastball changeup from Guerra. Very important pitch, especially against a left-handed batter.
This one's cued to the left side and will sneak through for a base hit. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Includes a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Go to MLB.TV for details. So Saunders will bat with 1 out. Navarro over at first base. Cron will play behind DeHonor. Not going to hold him on. Good off-speed pitch.
Way out in front. Unable to make contact.
One ball, 2 strikes. Saunders goes down swinging, 2 outs. Out of the changeup. Struggles for Michael Saunders continue over the last couple of months. So 2 outs now.
It's an excellent changeup. Way out in front, able to make contacts. That out of hand off the bat. He's struggling Saunders at this point.
11 strikeouts for Angels pitchers. Quick visit by Gratterall. Here's Kevin Pillar. A walk and a strikeout. He's 0 for 1. Crow playing in front of Navarro. Pillar grounds one toward the middle. Simmons has it. Leads Pennington. They force out DeHonor. Stretch time here at the Big A. The Angels maintaining their 2-0 lead. 7th inning. And the Angels face a new pitcher for the first time. Other than Marcus Stroman, that is. He went 6 innings today. He had 2 runs, 7 hits. He'll give way to Brett Cecil, pitching his 47th game, 1-7 record. 4.26 ERA for the now 30-year-old former first-round pick of Toronto.
1-7 ERA, 4.26 at one point a starter. Big leagues. He's adjusted better to the bullpen as far as velocity on his fastball. It's up there in the low to mid 90s consistently. Break a ball, changeup.
2 runs and Stroman allowed, both earned. His afternoon comes to an end. He has 3 strikeouts and 2 walks as well. Halos here in the 7th. Have Calhoun, Trout, and Pujols coming up.
I wonder if this is going to be a one-batter scenario.
Breaking ball a little bit high. 1 ball, no strikes. Cecil, the 38th overall selection in '07 at the University of Maryland. The breaking ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lefties have hit .276 against Cecil this year. Righties an even .300. Good hitters count at 2-1. Trout on deck, then Pujols. Although Biagini's still loosening in the pad, so like you said, Gilby, just might be a 1-batter situation. 2-2.
Pretty good breaking ball from Cecil against Cole Calhoun. Calhoun .281 batting average against lefties.
Goes down swinging for the first out. John Gibbons coming out. Sure enough, right on cue. Go ahead and make a pitching change. Cecil gets his man. Trout get the opportunity to face Joe Biagini. There's a pitching change once again. We're at the bottom of the 7th inning. The Angels leading it by the score of 2-0. 26th round pick by the San Francisco Giants and a Rule 5 selection by Toronto this past offseason. Takes over. This will be his 55th game at the big leagues this season. 4.2 mark at 2.61 ERA. He gets an opportunity to face Trout, and then Pujols with one out here in the 7th inning. Big kid, 6'5", Sunnyvale to UC Davis. First taste of big league life. After being a starter at Double-A last year, put up good numbers, and Toronto ended up plucking him from the Giants farm system. Trout will bat. He's 1 for 2. A ground out, a walk, and a double. He's also scored a run.
Staying away on Trout.
I think every reliever that's come into a game today has gone at least 1-0. Most have gone 2-0. 3-0 in this case.
Green light here for Trout.
See if we can get one of those get-over fastballs.
Four-pitch walk. Second one picked up by Trout. He is on board for Albert. What if he's going to be on the move?
Yeah, I would imagine early. First or second pitch on the move.
26 stolen bases for Trout.
Outside shot at a 30-30 season for Trout.
Albert been on board twice. A walk back in the second. An RBI single in the 5th.
5.03 at bat RBI ratio this season for Albert Pujols. 5th best in baseball.
Trout on the move, and Albert rolls one to the right side. It's a hit and run. At least it turns out to be. Trout would have had a stolen base easily. Ends up at third on the single by Albert. So first and third with one out, and Cron coming up.
Albert's second hit of the game. He has a walk also and a run scored. Trout with 2 walks. He doubled on a run scored.
It's a third multi-hit game for Albert in this series. Cron 1 for 3 with a single back in the second. Last plate appearance resulting in a ground out for CJ back to the mound. Foul back, pulled on the breaking ball. Infield looking for that double play ball. The outfield shading Crone the opposite way, especially in center. Albert's on the move, and this one's lined to right. Bautista comes in. He'll make the catch. The throw is coming to the plate. Trout is safe. A sac fly. And the Angels extend their lead to 3-0.
Yeah, I think he had a better shot throwing that ball to first base to try to double up Pujols than he do to be able to throw out Trout as he scores his second run of the game.
Yeah, Albert was on the move. I think you're right.
Good job by C.J. Crone picking up that RBI.
If they get the force out at first, it's a moot point.
Yeah, no run scores. Double play.
Halos would take it. So 2 outs, Albert at first. Here's Angel Simmons.
See Albert going on the pitch. And he tracks the baseball back to Bautista, who's had a nice game in right field today, but a high throw to first. He might have had a shot at him.
A little bit of a double clutch there. 2 balls, no strikes. Simmons 1 for 3 with a single in the 4th. Pretty good pitch, doesn't get called. 3-0. Three and one. And there's a walk. Second one issued by Biagini. So 2 on with 2 outs. Action continuing to the bullpen for Toronto.
Trout with 2 runs scored today, 113 runs scored. Donaldson leads the American League in that category with 114.
Ortega 1 for 1. He's shown the catcher's interference in his first at bat. A sac bunt and a single. This one flared out to shallow left field, and that falls in there for a hit. Albert comes in to score, and the Angels lead us 4-0. And Ortega takes second on the third.
That's a good base running by Ortega. A little miscommunication between Saunders and Tulowitzki on that little flare out in the outfield by Ortega. Second hit of the game for Rafael Ortega. Picks up an RBI. Off the bat, thought Tulowitzki was going to try to get to that baseball, then looks up at the last second. Saunders unable to get there in time, falls in front of him. Good base running too by Ortega to get into scoring position himself.
Second and third, still 2 outs. Here's Gratterall. 1-1 pitch. 2 balls and a strike. Gratterall 0 for 3, but picked up an RBI in the second. Two balls, 2 strikes. A couple of insurance runs in so far. It's 4-0. They're in the bottom of the 7th. A little flare out to shallow center. Tulowitzki's there. Inning comes to an end. The Angels add 2. We'll head to the 8th. 4-0 Halo.
The ball game, hoping to close this one out for the Halos as they're up 4-0 as we head to the top of the 8th inning. Ken French back with you right outside the Big A, and don't forget it's all about Angels Live, presented by your SoCal Mazda dealers. When this one comes to an end, myself, Jose Mota, Alex Curry, bring you all the highlights and interviews and reaction, and certainly the story this afternoon has been about Alex Meyer, career high in innings and strikeouts, and in line for his first big league win. Also bring another Matrix-like slide from Mike Trout. That and much more on the post-game show. But fellas, as we send it back inside Gooby, when you look at Alex Meyer, can you call it maybe the most glorious performance of his whole career thus far?
There's no question about it. He had great command of all his pitches, hitting his spots exceptionally well. Changeup was solid, but his fastball command and breakable, outstanding. Frenchie, I'll tell you what a game for Alex Meyer.
You know, whenever he was in the hole, it didn't matter. He battled his way out of it and fought his way through to have a fantastic 5 innings and put himself in line for his first big league victory. It is so important when you dig yourself a hole that you are able to climb out of it. Top of the order for Toronto. Travis, Donaldson, and Encarnacion. Facing J.C. Ramirez, who falls behind. 1 ball, no strikes. Make that 2-0. That has been the theme over the last 2 innings. Travis 1 for 2, a walk and a single. 3-0.
3-1. Here's pitching in his 37th game with the Angels. 1-1 mark at 3.20 ERA. And he issues a leadoff walk to start the 8th. 4-0 lead.
Second walk of the game for Travis. Third time on base. Single, 2 walks, 1 for 2.
Josh Donaldson, a strikeout, a double play ball, and a walk, so he's 0 for 2. Look at a strike, good fastball. Just off the plate.
With this lineup for the Jays, especially this part of the lineup, not want to give him any life. Mention how well Alex Meyer threw the baseball. Limit the damage, throw strikes, get the ball on the ground.
Ramirez pitched Friday against Toronto, inning of the 3rd. Donaldson strikes out swinging. Time to expand the strike zone, 1 down.
Second time Donaldson has struck out in this game. Good slider going down and away. Donaldson unable to make contact.
Jose Bautista, or pardon me, Edwin Encarnacion comes up. Bautista on deck. Edwin 1 for 3 with a double and a couple strikeouts.
Now that's a dangerous spot to throw a slider.
12 strikeouts this afternoon for Angels pitchers.
Ball went right back. You got CB Buckner. And Neville going to go out and check up on him. Mask and then the shoulder.
No balls, 2 strikes on Edwin Encarnacion. Foul back, just off the glove of Gratterall.
Fastball had some serious sink action to it at 98.
1-2. Travis will lead off walk, standing at first base.
Ramirez would love to get a ground ball double play here.
I think that sentiment is shared by many. Count remains at 1-2. Two balls, two strikes. Two. Foul back. Angels will head to North Texas, take on the Rangers beginning tomorrow. They ended up losing to the Oakland A's today. Seattle still leading Houston 7-3. It's up at Safeco. This is a ground ball over to short. Your wish is my command.
Yes.
Ahead of the bottom of the 8th inning. 4-0 Halos. Toronto Blue Jays as we start the bottom of the 8th inning. Halos up by the score of 4-0. It's right-hander Danny Barnes, a 26-year-old from Manhasset, New York. Takes over. This will be his 9th big league game. No record. 11 1/3 innings. 5 earned runs allowed. 35th round pick back in 2010 out of Princeton.
Ivy Leaguer.
Oh, yeah. 5-2 coming up for the Angels. This year at AA and AAA. Combined to go 3-1 with a .73 ERA. 6 saves. 77 strikeouts and 61 in the 3rd innings. Biagini, by the way, got charged with 2 runs in the 7th. 2 hits, 2 walks. One ball, 1 strike on Cliff, who's 1 for 3. Single back in the 4th. And Escobar behind him, and then Calhoun. Paddington rips one to right field. It's a leadoff single. 10th hit of the afternoon for the Angels.
Multi-hit game for Pennington. Base hit to left, base hit to right.
Yunel Escobar 1 for 4. We're looking and joined us for the first time over the last couple of days. Yunel changing his number prior to the game yesterday to 0.
Just because he wanted to change that number, and he's been wanting to do so for quite a while.
What, do you got to file a petition for it? Why don't you just ask the clubby, hey, make me 0, or is there a whole process? I'm asking a serious question. But you had to go through Major League Baseball?
Yeah, you don't see many players change numbers unless there's a trade made and they have that number, but unusual.
Because he wasn't having a good enough season wearing the number 6. He's actually having a very good season for the Angels.
One of the best in Angel history as far as a leadoff batter.
Yeah. Call him Cero for 0, Spanish.
Thank you.
I'm here for you, man.
Yes, I appreciate that.
Who needs Rosetta Stone? You got me.
I do have it though, Rosetta Stone.
Do you?
Yes.
For which
Spanish.
language?
For Spanish.
For
I'm gonna
Spanish.
try to learn that a lot more during the off season.
Well, the words that Rosetta doesn't teach you, I got you covered.
Perfect.
Check swing, and Escobar tossing the bat. He is a style master. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pretty close to hitting C.B. Buckner, too. One down.
And that fastball up above the strike zone to get a swing and miss.
John Gibbons going to make a pitching change? Gibbons is going to make a pitching change here. Play matchup with Cole coming up. How about that?
Especially when you got Trout and Pujols to follow, so that means it'll be a 1-batter scenario again.
4-0 Halos here in the 8th. Calhoun. One batter situation. 17th game, the record is 6.17 ERA. Cole coming up, he's 0 for 4. 2 ground downs and 2 strikeouts. No balls and a strike on Cole. Toronto with no runs, 3 hits and errors, stranded 6. Halos with 4 runs, 10 hits, have left 10 on.
Boy, Pennington trying to get a read on Luke and not figure him out with his delivery.
Cole strikes out swinging. 2 outs.
Another pitching change made by Gibbons.
Four 0 Halos as we go to break. Up 4-0 with a man at first base. 2 outs now. Bo Schultz takes over on the mound for Aaron Luke. Third pitcher used in the inning. Toronto trying to keep this a 4-0 deficit heading into the 9th inning with Bautista, Martin, and Tulowitzki due up for the Blue Jays. Schultz pitched last night, 16th overall game, 0-1 mark at a 5.63 ERA. Angels, by the way, in the 9th will have A.J. Octor. See who's loosening in the bullpen. Trout 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Pardon me. That was Bautista's line. 1 for 2. I didn't move my scorecard over. Double, 2 walks, 2 runs scored.
113 runs scored now, just 1 behind Donaldson for the AL lead.
I had already shifted over to the top of the 9th on my iPad. Sorry, Google. Your stare was priceless, by the way. What are you talking about? 2 strikeouts. What game are you watching? I'm delirious after the last inning and a half. 1 ball, no strikes. Hope this is something that gets addressed in the collective bargaining agreement. This whole September call-up stuff. It's awful.
I think you might see that as far as especially the amount of pitchers used and all the amount of extra players at this time of the year where you have to put on a certain amount of guys on that roster that particular day.
Agree. Bring up all 40 guys if you want, but you know what? Have an active roster of 25 every single game. You play the game for 5+ months that way, and then the rules completely change in the last month when games are meaningful for a lot of teams. Just asinine. It's not just Gibby here at the Blue Jays. I mean, it's just across the board. Trout lines one out the left. Boy, that ball was smoked. Saunders moving back. He got a good jump on it. Tracks it down for the 3rd out. We head to the 9th inning. 4-0 Angels. A.J. Octor taking over. Octor so far this season has done a nice job when he's been in the big leagues for the Angels. 21st game, no record, a 3.52 ERA. 30 and 2/3 innings, 11 strikeouts, and 7 walks. He's trying to close it out for Alex Myers, looking for his first major league win. Alex today gave up no runs, 2 hits, and 7 strikeouts, a career high, 3 walks. Went the requisite 5 innings. Octor, the 11th pitcher to come into this ball game today. Combined, that is. Pitched against Toronto on Thursday. Jose Bautista takes inside. He's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Bautista down the left field line. That's a fair ball. Bautista with his 22nd double leads off the 9th.
Baseball, he was able to get out in front just enough before that baseball traveled into the shadows from the sun. Bautista lines that down the left field line. 22nd double of the season.
Jose Alvarez getting ready. Russell Martin 0 for 3. 3 strikeouts so far in this one. He's the DH today. Two balls, no strikes. There's Nagy out to pay a visit. Two-0 pitch. Martin bounces to third. Escobar to the backhand has it. One down.
Another solid play defensively for Escobar in this game. In between hop, tough hop on the backhand. It's the first out of the 9th inning here. So that tough little hop. Easy throws out Martin at first base.
Tulowitzki looks at a strike. Troy 0 for 3. Tulowitzki toward the hole, backhanded by Simmons. 2 down. Whatever Charles Nagy said to A.J. Ockner's work, 2 ground ball outs, and that's the MO for Ockner when he's going well.
Yeah, I think you just got to trust lower part of the strike zone if you're A.J. Ockner. He's got a good sinker, slider, and a very good changeup when it's down in the strike zone.
Navarro takes a strike. Navarro 1 for 3. Single in the 7th inning.
Good all-speed pitch.
Ockner ready. Here comes the 2-2. This is lifted out to left field. Not very deep. Simmons going out. Calling for it. Makes the catch. Light that baby up as the Angels shut out the Toronto Blue Jays by the final of 4-0.
What a perfect way to end the game. Another outstanding defensive play by Anderson Simmons. Great defense throughout. And congratulations to Alex Meyer picking up his first major league win, going 5 shutout innings. Big game defensively. Mike Trout, one of his typical unbelievable games. Albert Pujols, the same. Pennington, 10 hits, 4-run score for the Eagles. They shut out. Blue Jays win the second game of this series, even it up at 2. Back those last 2 games. What a game here today, though, defensively and on the staff, for the Angels to be able to come away with this 4-0 victory.
That was a nice job by Alex Meyer going back to that first major league win for the big right-hander. 5 innings, the requisite 5 innings, and really under control for the most part. Career high 7 strikeouts for him, issued 3 walks, and the Angels scratched out a couple of runs. It was a 2-0 game until the 8th or 7th inning, when the Angels added 2 more. Take that 4-0 lead, and that's all she wrote. The Blue Jays get shut out as the Angels end up splitting the 4-game series with Toronto 2 apiece. The Angels will head now to Texas to start a 7-game trek through the Lone Star State. 3 against the Rangers, 4 against the Astros, while Toronto, still looking for a postseason berth, will head up the coast and go to Seattle to take on the Seattle Mariners with a series beginning tomorrow night. Halos picking up the victory by the final of 4-0. Looks like Angels catcher Juan Gratterall is down at the field. He's the guy that caught today's game, and he's with Alex Curry. Alex.
Thank you, Victor. Juan, back-to-back wins. Congrats on your 2nd major league start. What's been the biggest turnaround you've seen from this team in the last 2 games?
Has ganado los juegos que has echado, que sientes haber echado esos 18 innings y tus 2 primeros juegos, han sido tus 2 primeros juegos, pues, ¿cómo te sientes?
No, me siento muy feliz, primero que nada, dándole gracias a Dios y nada, trabajando duro, enfocándome en el plan que se va a llevar cada juego que tenga la oportunidad de jugar y dando lo mejor de mí.
Exactly, whatever he said was perfect. No, he said he just been focused on how to call games, watching the games, learning from everybody, and taking advantage of every opportunity that comes. Keep working, and of course he says thanks to God at first, and he's just happy to be here.
And Alex Meyer getting his first big league win, a career high in innings and strikeouts. What did you see from him today?
El pitcher Meyer, compadre, que cómo se ve.
Primero que nada me enfoqué mucho en lo que él estaba fallando en la última salida. Después de ahí hablé con él antes del juego y le dije, mira, estos son los ajustes que vamos a hacer, se va a utilizar más el picheo rompiente y vamos a tratar de atacar con la recta, y gracias a Dios las cosas salieron bien.
He said he went to look on what went wrong the last start, and then he wants to work on the curveball today, get ahead, and then finish with the fastball, and everything went right, basically.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us, and congratulations on ending this homestand on a win. Well, the Angels heading this homestand on a positive note with back-to-back wins before heading on their last road trip of the season. But stick around for Angels Live with Kent French and Jose Mota as they'll break it all down next right here on Fox Sports West.